But how can we win against such overwhelming force? Jake replied, doubt creeping into his voice. They are targeting our people. Innocents are suffering. Lyra nodded, understanding his pain. I know it's hard, but we have to stay strong. Our fight isn't just about military tactics. It's about protecting our home and our people. We can't let fear consume us. We must stand together and rally our forces. Her passionate speech reignited a fire within Jake. He realized that despite the odds stacked against them, they had something the Council did not: unity and the will to fight for their loved ones. You're right, Lyra, he said, wiping away his tears. We can't let them break our spirit. We will find a way to retaliate, to show them the strength of humanity. As he resolved to take action, the atmosphere in the command center shifted. Soldiers rallied around Jake, ready to follow him into the next battle. Together, they would confront the Galactic Council's brutal tactics and fight back, not just for themselves, but for all the lives they cherished. With renewed determination, Jake and his team began to plan their next move, ready to escalate their efforts against the Council. This part of the story highlights the emotional toll of war, the camaraderie among the characters, and the resolve to continue fighting, ensuring that the audience remains engaged and invested in the outcome of their struggle. As the dust settled from the devastation brought upon by the Galactic Council, Earth's forces found themselves at a crossroads. In the command center, Commander Jake stood before his troops, determination etched on his face. "This is it, everyone," he declared, his voice resonating with emotion. "This is our last chance to fight back and reclaim our home. We've lost so much already, and we cannot let their cruelty define us. We must come together and show them the strength of humanity." The soldiers responded with a roar of agreement, their spirits reignited by Jake's passionate speech. They prepared themselves for the final battle, knowing that everything was at stake. Every soldier, engineer, and scientist put in their last efforts to finalize the technology and strategies that would ensure their success. Cloaking devices were checked, weapons calibrated, and AI systems primed for action. Each team member knew they had to give their all, as failure was not an option. As dawn broke on the day of the final confrontation, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. The Earth fleet gathered in formation, ready to face the Galactic Council's flagship. Commander Jake took one last look at his team, the faces of his friends and fellow soldiers reflecting both fear and determination. They all understood the weight of this moment. They were not just fighting for themselves, but for every person back on Earth who had suffered under the Council's tyranny. The epic climax of the battle began as the fleets clashed in space. Earth's forces unleashed a torrent of firepower, using advanced technology to breach the Council's defenses. The flagship of the Galactic Council loomed large, a monstrous symbol of their power, but the Earth fleet was undeterred. With vivid visuals of starships darting through space, weapons firing, and explosions lighting up the void, the scene was breathtaking. As they engaged in close-quarters combat, soldiers boarded the flagship, fighting through alien troops. Jake led the charge, his heart racing as he fought alongside his comrades. The tension in the air was palpable as they battled their way to the control room, where the Council's leaders awaited. Each moment was filled with high stakes. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders. In a fierce showdown, Jake confronted the Council's commander. The clash of weapons echoed through the chamber as they fought fiercely, both determined to emerge victorious. Just when it seemed like hope was fading, Jake found an opening and struck decisively. The alien commander fell, and a wave of relief washed over him. With their leader defeated, the morale of the Galactic Council's forces crumbled. Earth soldiers rallied together, pushing the remaining aliens back and finally driving them off their flagship. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded, cheers erupted among the Earth forces. They had done it. They had defended their planet and emerged victorious against overwhelming odds. The celebration that followed was one of pure joy and relief. Commander Jake stood among his team, pride swelling in his chest. "We did it!" Together, we showed them what humanity is capable of. He raised his arms, and the soldiers joined in a triumphant cheer, celebrating not just their victory, but the bonds they had forged through adversity. This part of the story captures the emotional intensity of the final battle, the epic visuals of the conflict, and the ultimate resolution, ensuring that the audience is fully engaged and inspired by humanity's triumph over its adversaries. In the aftermath of the climactic battle, Earth was forever changed. The once small and underestimated planet had now emerged as a significant power in the galaxy. News of their victory against the Galactic Council spread like wildfire across star systems. Commander Jake and Dr. Ilara, the brilliant alien scientist, stood on the balcony of the command center, gazing at the stars. The galaxy was a vast place filled with endless possibilities, and they were determined to seize the opportunity for peace. "Look at what we've accomplished," Jake said, a sense of pride in his voice. "We've shown the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. We have the strength and courage to stand up for ourselves." Ilara nodded, her eyes sparkling with hope. "This victory is not just ours. It can pave the way for a new alliance. Together, we can create a future where humans and aliens coexist in harmony." The idea of a new alliance was revolutionary. Once rivals, Earth and its former enemies could now work together for a common cause. As ambassadors from various planets arrived on Earth, Jake and Ilara greeted them with open arms. They spoke passionately about the need for cooperation, sharing knowledge and technology for the benefit of all. The meetings were filled with excitement, as representatives from different species gathered to discuss peace treaties and partnerships. The transformation was profound. No longer seen as just Earthlings, humans were now respected members of the galactic community. The old animosities faded, replaced by a spirit of collaboration. They formed a council that included delegates from various planets, promoting mutual understanding and shared goals. This unity brought hope to many, illustrating that even the deepest divides could be bridged through friendship and respect. As Earth prepared for this new chapter, Jake and Ilara reflected on the past. They remembered the struggles, the losses, and the sacrifices made during the war. Yet they also recognized that these experiences had forged unbreakable bonds between them and their fellow soldiers. "We've learned so much from each other," Ilara said softly. "It's these connections that will lead us to success." In a powerful speech to the gathered delegates, Jake summarized their vision for the future. "We are not just humans, we are a beacon of hope. Our courage and friendship will always lead us to victory. Together, we can build a galaxy where everyone has a voice, and every species can thrive." The audience erupted in applause, filled with enthusiasm for this new beginning. As the story comes to a close, the message resonates. Humanity's strength lies not only in its ability to fight, but in its capacity to love and unite. The ending is strong and inspirational, reminding everyone that true victory is achieved through understanding and collaboration. "We have proven that our determination and friendships can overcome any challenge," Jake declared, looking out at the stars. "This is just the beginning of our journey together." With that, the screen fades to black, leaving the audience with a sense of hope and excitement for the future. A reminder that together, they can achieve the extraordinary. In the year 2753, the vast Galactic Council held a grand meeting in their opulent headquarters, an impressive structure that floated among the stars, radiating a blend of technological elegance and alien artistry. The council, composed of representatives from various advanced alien races, gathered to discuss the rising influence of Earth. The atmosphere was tense, as debates about the human species escalated. As the council leader, a tall, imposing figure with shimmering blue skin, stood to speak, a hush fell over the room. He scanned the faces of his fellow council members, his voice booming with authority. "Humans are nothing but a nuisance. They are a species that lacks the intelligence to compete with us. Their only goal is to steal our technology and undermine our civilization." His words sliced through the air like a knife, laced with scorn and condescension. The tension in the room thickened as a murmur of agreement rippled among the alien representatives. This moment would prove to be a turning point for both the Council and humanity. Back on Earth, the news of this insult spread like wildfire. Television screens flashed images of the Council meeting, showcasing the alien leader's derisive comments. Social media exploded with outrage as citizens and military leaders alike reacted with fury. "This is more than an insult. It's a declaration of war," one military leader shouted during a press conference, his face red with anger. "We cannot let them belittle us like this." Thousands of comments flooded online platforms, echoing similar sentiments. The hashtag #EarthStandsUp began trending, uniting humans in their indignation. In the heart of a bustling city, crowds gathered outside government buildings, waving flags and chanting slogans. "We are not just primates," they shouted, their voices rising in unison. The atmosphere was electric, filled with a sense of urgency and determination. Among the crowd stood Commander Jake, a tall and strikingly handsome military leader with dark hair and piercing green eyes. He exuded confidence, rallying the crowd with passionate speeches about human strength and resilience. "We've faced challenges before, and we will rise against this insult. It's time to show the galaxy who we are." As Jake spoke, the camera zoomed in on his determined face, highlighting the fire in his eyes. His charisma captivated the audience, and they hung on his every word. Meanwhile, in a quieter corner of the crowd stood Dr. Lyra, a brilliant and beautiful alien scientist who had spent years studying Earth and its inhabitants. With her sleek silver hair and vibrant blue skin, she looked different from the humans but felt deeply connected to them. Dr. Lyra had always admired humanity's spirit, and this moment ignited her passion to help. After the speech, Jake and Lyra found a moment to talk amid the chaos. "They can't think they can get away with this," Jake said, his voice low but filled with intensity. "We need a plan, something bold to show them we won't be intimidated." Lyra nodded, her eyes sparkling with determination. "I have been studying their technology, and there are ways we can counter their advanced weaponry. We just need to work together." The two began to brainstorm strategies, each bringing their unique strengths to the table. Jake's military expertise and leadership complemented Lyra's scientific knowledge, creating a powerful alliance. They discussed using Earth's advanced cloaking devices and AI technology to launch a surprise counteroffensive against the Galactic Council. The tension in the air crackled as they realized the potential of their collaboration. As they formulated their plan, a sense of urgency gripped them both. The Council had insulted Earth, but they would not stand by and let it go unchallenged. "This isn't just about pride," Jake said, his voice firm. "It's about proving that we are more than they think we are. It's about our survival." The scene shifted back to the Galactic Council, where whispers of concern began to circulate among the members. They had underestimated humanity, but the commander and the scientist were determined to prove that Earth was not a mere nuisance. They were a force to be reckoned with. As the council members continued to plot against Earth, Jake and Lyra prepared to strike back, driven by a fierce determination that would ignite the spark of war. This opening part sets the stage for the conflict ahead, showcasing the raw emotion of the humans' reaction to the insult and introducing the key characters who will lead the fight against the Galactic Council. The blend of anger, determination, and strategic planning creates a gripping hook that will keep the audience engaged and eager to see what happens next. Following the outrage over the Galactic Council's insult, the Earth's government called for an emergency meeting in a large, high-tech conference room filled with military leaders, scientists, and influential civilians. The room buzzed with tension as everyone waited for Commander Jake to arrive. He stepped forward, his tall figure commanding attention. The glow from the screens around him highlighted his serious expression. "Today we stand at a crossroads," he began, his voice steady and resolute. "The Galactic Council thinks they can belittle us, but we will show them we are not afraid." He paused to let his words sink in, his green eyes scanning the crowd. "We have advanced technology and powerful weapons that can match their might. We will not cower in fear, we will fight back." The room erupted in applause, the energy shifting from doubt to determination. Jake continued, explaining the military's new plans to enhance their defenses and prepare for an all-out war. "We will deploy our cloaking devices and work together to develop new strategies. We have the strength of our people, and together we can win this fight." As the meeting progressed, Jake's speech resonated deeply with those present. However, amidst the atmosphere of hope, moments of uncertainty lingered. Dr. Lyra watched from the sidelines, her heart heavy with the weight of the decision looming before them. She knew the stakes were high and the fear of failure began to creep into her mind. Later, in a quiet moment, Jake and Lyra stepped away from the chaos to discuss their personal feelings about the upcoming war. "This is not just about fighting for Earth," Lyra said softly, her voice tinged with emotion. "I've seen what happens when powerful beings underestimate others. We cannot allow the Council to take our freedom and dignity." Jake nodded, feeling a surge of connection with her words. He remembered the friends he had lost in previous conflicts, those who had sacrificed everything for their planet. "I've lost people I cared about too," he replied, his voice low. "But we can honor them by fighting for a better future. We can't let their deaths be in vain." Lyra reached out, placing a hand on Jake's shoulder. "Together we will honor them. We will make sure their sacrifice means something." This moment of vulnerability strengthened their bond, making them realize that their fight was not just about victory, but about preserving the lives and memories of those they loved. As the meeting concluded, the final decision hung in the air. Earth would officially declare war against the Galactic Council. However, doubt still lingered among the people. Would they truly be able to defeat such a technologically advanced enemy? Whispers of fear echoed through the crowd, but Jake and Lyra knew they had to keep the spirit of hope alive. "We will not go quietly," Jake declared, rallying those around him. "We will fight for our home, for our future, and for everyone we have lost. Together we can win this war!" His passionate speech inspired those around him, igniting a fire in their hearts. The decision was made, the battle would commence. Earth would rise against the Galactic Council, ready to fight for their dignity and survival. This part of the story highlights the preparations for war and the emotional connections between the characters, building up to the moment when Earth declares its intent to fight back. The blend of determination, fear, and personal memories keeps the audience engaged, emphasizing the stakes involved in the conflict ahead. As the war preparations reached their peak, the atmosphere in the Earth's military command center was electric with anticipation. The room was filled with the sounds of urgent voices and the whirring of advanced technology. Commander Jake stood at the helm, surrounded by screens displaying tactical maps and images of the Galactic Council's remote outpost. "Tonight is our night," he announced, his voice steady. "With our cloaking devices and AI drones, we will strike when they least expect it. We will show them the strength of humanity." The soldiers around him nodded, their faces set with determination. They understood that this mission was not just about survival, it was about reclaiming their dignity. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Jake gathered his forces for one last briefing. "This will be our first dark night, but it will also be our most important one. We move as one unit, silent and swift. Let's make history together." With the plan set, the military deployed the advanced cloaking devices on their ships, rendering them nearly invisible. As the vessels powered up, the tension in the air thickened. Soldiers whispered words of encouragement to each other, the gravity of the moment weighing heavily on their shoulders. Everyone was ready. The countdown to their first strike had begun. In the dead of night, Earth's forces approached the outpost of the Galactic Council. The area was quiet, the stars twinkling above as if unaware of the chaos about to unfold. Suddenly, with a fierce roar, the cloaked ships decloaked, unleashing a barrage of firepower upon the unsuspecting alien outpost. The scene erupted into thrilling action as explosions lit up the dark sky, illuminating the battlefield. Jake coordinated the strike from the command ship, issuing orders as drones swarmed the area. "Initiate orbital bombardment," he commanded, his voice calm amidst the chaos. A series of blasts rained down, targeting the enemy's defenses. Earth's forces poured into the outpost, engaging in intense close-quarter combat with alien guards. Robots, equipped with advanced weaponry, fought alongside the soldiers, their mechanical arms swinging fiercely. The scene was cinematic, full of action and suspense. Humans moved with agility, dodging alien fire while striking back with precision. The exhilaration of battle surged through them as they fought not just for victory, but for their very existence. Amidst the chaos, Jake demonstrated his strategic genius, maneuvering his troops and coordinating the attack flawlessly. He was everywhere at once, ensuring that every part of the plan unfolded as intended. Just when it seemed that victory was within their grasp, the unexpected happened. The Galactic Council's reinforcements arrived in massive ships, their engines roaring like thunder as they descended upon the battlefield. The sight sent a shockwave of fear through Jake's troops. "Reinforcements!" Jake shouted, his heart racing. "Fall back and regroup!" The scene ended with a cliffhanger, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats. Would the sudden arrival of the Council's forces spell doom for Earth's brave soldiers? Is this the end for us? The question loomed in the air, amplifying the tension and uncertainty as the scene faded to black, leaving viewers eager for what would happen next. This part of the story builds excitement through the action-packed sequence and the unexpected twist, ensuring that the audience remains engaged and invested in the character's fate. In the aftermath of Earth's surprise attack on their remote outpost, the Galactic Council was furious. They quickly devised a counterattack, determined to teach humanity a harsh lesson. Now they will understand what we are capable of, the Council's leader declared, his voice filled with malice. With their advanced technology and brutal tactics, the Council prepared to unleash their fury on Earth. As Earth's cities went about their daily lives, the Council's massive warships descended from the sky, darkening the daylight. The people looked up in horror as the ships began their assault, firing down on civilian targets with no regard for human life. Explosions rocked neighborhoods, sending plumes of smoke and debris into the air. Panic spread through the streets as civilians ran for shelter. But it was too late for many. The brutality of the Council's revenge was shocking, and the world was left reeling from the devastation. Back at the military command center, Commander Jake watched the news in disbelief. He felt a knot tighten in his stomach as he saw images of destruction and chaos on the screens. "We underestimated them," he whispered, guilt flooding his heart. His thoughts raced as he remembered the soldiers who had fought bravely alongside him in the previous battle. Now many of them lay dead or injured in the aftermath of the Council's retaliation. In an emotional moment, Jake stepped away from the chaos of the command center and found a quiet space. He sat down, clutching a photo of his fallen comrades, their faces smiling back at him. Tears filled his eyes as he remembered their laughter and camaraderie. "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you," he whispered, feeling the weight of loss crushing him. The memories of their bravery haunted him, and he wondered if he could lead their remaining team to victory. Meanwhile, Dr. Lyra approached him, sensing his despair. "Commander, we can't give up now," she urged, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "We owe it to them to keep fighting. They believed in us, and we must believe in ourselves." Her eyes sparkled with determination, and her words began to lift the heavy burden on Jake's heart.